Hello students. In the last lecture of chapter 13, AC circuits, we have studied about different types of AC circuits with resistor and inductor. We have studied when the AC voltage is applied to a resistor, the value of the instantaneous current I we are getting as I0 sine omega t, and hence we know that for a resistor, there is zero phase difference between instantaneous alternating current and alternating EMF. That is, they are in same phase. Both E and I reach zero minimum and maximum value at the same time, as shown in this graph of E and I versus omega t. Also, we had seen the phasor diagram for the purely resistive circuit, as the phasors for I and E both are in the same direction and both of them are making an angle omega t with OX. Then next, we had seen the application of AC to a pure inductor, and we had determined the instantaneous value of the current when the inductor is to be connected across the AC supply. I is equal to I0 sine omega t minus pi by 2, and hence we can conclude that the EMF leads the current by the phase pi by 2 radian, or current lags behind the EMF by pi by 2 radian, and also EMF and current both are sinusoidal of same frequency, as shown in the graph of E and I versus omega t. As well as we had seen the phasor diagram for purely inductive circuit, that there is a phase difference of pi by 2 between the instantaneous value of EMF and current, and EMF leads the current by the phase of pi by 2 there. Then next we have studied about the inductive reactance, which is nothing but the opposition offered by the inductor to the flow of an alternating current, which is called as inductive reactance and is denoted as XL, where the value of the XL we are getting as omega L, which is equal to 2 pi FL, and from here we can say that the inductive reactance is directly proportional to frequency and also directly proportional to the self-inductance of the inductor, and the SI unit of the inductive reactance is similar to that of the resistance, that is ohm, and also we can conclude that it passes DC and blocks AC of very high frequency. Now let's proceed the chapter where we will study the opposition offered by a pure capacitor to the flow of AC current when alternating EMF is applied across them. The next topic we have AC voltage applied to a capacitor. Now let's consider an alternating EMF E is equal to E0 sine omega t is applied across a capacitor of capacitance C, as shown in this figure. Now the current flowing in the circuit transfers charge to the plates of the capacitor, which produces a potential difference between the plates. As there are two plates in a capacitor, so when the current is to be flowing in a circuit, so it will transfer charge to the plates of the capacitor, which produces the potential difference between these two plates there. As the current reverses its direction in each half cycle in the AC signal, so the capacitor is alternately charged and discharged. Now let's consider Q be the magnitude of the charge on any one of the plate of a capacitor at any instant. Hence, the potential difference across its plate at that instant is to be given as V is equal to Q upon C. As the charge on the capacitor Q, which produces the potential difference across the plate V, is directly proportional to each other, as Q is directly proportional to V. So we can say Q is equal to some constant into V, where the constant is called as C, which is the capacitance of the capacitor there. So we can say that Q is equal to CV. Give it equation 13.10. Now the instantaneous value of the current I in a circuit is to be defined as rate of flow of the charges in a circuit. So for the instantaneous value of the current I, when dq charges are to be flowing in an interval of time dt, so here we can say that I is equal to dq upon dt. As q is equal to cv, so we can write it as d upon dt of ce there. As the potential which is to be produced over here is equal to E at every instant. That's why I is equal to d upon dt into C into E. Let's substitute the value of E over here. So it becomes d by dt in bracket C E0 sin omega t, as the value of E is E0 sin omega t. Over here, as C is constant, so we are taking it as it is. Now let's take the derivative of sin omega t there, as C and E0 is constant. So we are writing it as it is over here, where C is the capacitance of the capacitor and E0 is the peak value of the E there. So here we are going to take the derivative of sin omega t, and the derivative of sin omega t we are getting as cos omega t into omega. So here we can write this equation as E0 into C omega into cos omega t, where C omega can be written in the denominator as E0 upon 1 upon omega c. The factor remains same. It will be as it is, as C E0 into omega. We are just rearranging the equation here. So we can write it as E0 upon 1 upon omega c into cos omega t. As cos omega t is given sin pi by 2 plus omega t. So here we can write the value of I as E0 upon 1 upon omega c into sin omega t plus pi by 2. So here we are getting the instantaneous value of current I as E0 upon 1 upon omega c into sin omega t plus pi by 2. Give it equation, that is next equation 13.11. Now the current will be maximum we are getting when the value of sin omega t plus pi by 2 is 1 over there. When this value is 1, then we are getting the maximum value of the current, which we are denoting as I0. So here we can say that the value of I0 is nothing but is equal to E0 upon 1 upon omega c. So here we can write down, give this equation I0 is equal to E0 upon 1 upon omega c as next equation 13.12, and hence 13.11 will become as I is equal to I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2. Give it the next equation as 13.13. That means over here we are getting the instantaneous value of current as I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2 when the capacitor is to be connected across the AC supply. Now let's have the graph of E and I versus omega t. As from this equation, we find that in an AC circuit containing the capacitor only, the alternating current, which is to be shown by the dotted line, this alternating current I leads the alternating EMF, which is to be shown by the solid line. So the current is to be leads the EMF by the phase angle of pi by 2 radian. As we are having the instantaneous value of the EMF, E is equal to E0 sin omega t, which is given by equation 13.9. And the instantaneous value of the current when the capacitor only is to be connected across the AC signal, the value of the instantaneous current we are getting as I is equal to I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2, which is to be given by the equation 13.13. So it is very clear to us that the current leads the EMF or voltage by pi by 2 radian, or in another words we can say that the EMF or voltage across the capacitor lags behind the current by the phase angle pi by 2 radian. As here it is very clear in the graph that when the maximum value of the EMF E0 we are obtaining at pi by 2, the value of the instantaneous value of the current we are getting as 0. And when the peak value of the current in the negative half cycle is to be obtained at pi, so the value of the EMF is 0 over here. So here we can say that the EMF or the voltage across the capacitor lags behind the current by the phase angle pi by 2 radian, or we can say that the current leads the EMF or voltage by the pi by 2 radian, and hence the current and EMF both are sinusoidal in nature of same frequency. Now let's have the phasor diagram for purely capacitive circuit. As the phasor representing peak EMF that makes an angle omega t in anti-clockwise direction with respect to the horizontal axis. The length of the arrow here indicates the maximum value of the EMF E0, and this peak value of the EMF, it makes an angle omega t in anti-clockwise direction with respect to the horizontal axis, which is the x-axis there. As we had discussed that the current leads the voltage by 90 degree. So here the phase difference between E0 and I0 must be 90 degree there. So the current leads the voltage by 90 degree. So the phasor representing I0 current is to be turned anti-clockwise direction with respect to the phase representing EMF E0 there, as shown in this figure. And the length of the arrow here indicates the maximum value of the current, that is I0 there. And the projection of these phasors on the vertical axis gives the instantaneous value of EMF, which is E0 sin omega t, and instantaneous value of current, which is equal to I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2. Now, when the purely capacitive circuit is to be taken, as we had discussed that in the AC circuit, when it is to be connected through the resistor only, so it offers the opposition to the flow of current. Similarly, we had seen when only the inductor is to be connected across the AC signal, so the opposition offered by the pure inductor, which is to be termed as inductive reactance XL. Now let's see the capacitive reactance. So when the capacitor is to be connected across the AC supply, and hence the opposition which is to be offered by the capacitor to the flow of an alternating current, this quantity is called as capacitive reactance, and here we are denoting it by the symbol Xc. As we come to know, the instantaneous value of the alternating current through a capacitor we are getting as I is equal to E0 upon 1 upon omega c into sine omega t plus pi by 2. And here we are getting E0 upon 1 upon omega c is nothing but the peak value of the current I0, and hence I is equal to I0 sine omega t plus pi by 2. Now on comparing the equation, that is I0 is equal to E0 upon 1 upon omega c, with Ohm's law I0 is equal to E0 upon R, we find that the factor 1 upon omega c represents the effective resistance which is offered by the capacitor, and hence it is called as the capacitive reactance, which is to be denoted as Xc. So we can write this 1 upon omega c as the opposition offered by the capacitor, and hence known as the capacitive reactance Xc. So Xc is equal to 1 upon omega c. And as omega is 2 pi f, so Xc is to be written as 1 upon 2 pi fc, where f is the frequency of AC supply. So here we can say that a quantity that represents the opposition offered by the capacitor to the flow of an alternating current called as capacitive reactance, and it is denoted as symbol Xc, which is equal to 1 upon omega c, which is equal to 1 upon 2 pi fc. As the function of the capacitive reactance in a purely capacitive circuit is to limit the amplitude of the current similar to that of the resistance in a purely resistive circuit then. So here we can say that Xc varies inversely as the frequency of AC and also the capacitance of the condenser there. As Xc is 1 upon 2 pi fc, so we can say that Xc is inversely proportional to the frequency of AC and also inversely proportional to the capacitance of the capacitor, and hence we can say that the function of the capacitive reactance in a purely capacitive circuit is to limit the amplitude of the current. And when we are talking about the DC circuit, so in the DC circuit, as the frequency is 0, so we can say that the capacitive reactance Xc would become infinity, as Xc is equals to 1 upon 2 pi fc, value of f is 0. So 1 upon 0 is to be given as infinite value. So the value of Xc in DC we are getting as infinity. So here we can say that when the capacitor is to be connected across the DC supply, so capacitor blocks the DC and acts as open circuit while it will be passes AC of high frequencies. That means capacitor offers infinite opposition to the flow of DC current, and this shows that capacitor blocks DC. That's why it is also called as blocking capacitor. Now in such capacitor, the plates of capacitor gets fully charged immediately with the battery potential. Thereafter, no DC current will flows in the circuit. Now when the capacitor is connected to AC source, the charging and discharging takes place. Due to this charging and discharging, currents flow in opposite directions in the circuit, though no current flows through the capacitor. Thus, we can say that capacitor blocks DC and acts as open circuit while it passes AC of high frequencies. Now, the dimensions of capacitive reactance Xc are the same as that of the resistance, and its SI unit is ohm. Now, there is a difference between resistance and reactance of the circuit, as we come to know that when the inductor is to be connected only across the circuit, so it passes DC and blocks AC of very high frequency. But when the capacitor is to be connected across the circuit, so it blocks DC and acts as open circuit while it passes AC of high frequency. As resistance is the property of the circuit which consumes electric power as heat, while a pure inductor or capacitor does not consume any electric power, that is, no heat is produced. The reactance depends upon the frequency of the alternating source only, while resistance does not depend on the frequency of the source. Now, let's have the comparison between resistance and reactance, which is given in table 13.1. One column is there for resistance, another is there for the reactance, that is inductive reactance and capacitive reactance. As the resistance is equally effective for both AC and DC, where current is to be affected, that is reduced, but energy is not consumed in the reactance, as heat is not generated in the inductor and capacitor. The energy consumption by a coil is due to its resistive component, that is inductor and capacitor there. Now, the value of the resistance is independent of the frequency of AC, where inductive reactance, which is to be given as XL is equal to 2 pi FL, is directly proportional to the frequency of AC, and capacitive reactance, which is XC is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FC, is inversely proportional to the frequency of AC. The third comparison is given for the resistance. Current opposed by a resistor is in phase with the voltage, as there is no phase difference between instantaneous value of voltage and current, as instantaneous voltage is given as E is equal to E0 sin omega t, and instantaneous current is given as I is equal to I0 sin omega t when only a resistor is to be connected across the circuit. But when the inductor is to be connected in a circuit, then here the instantaneous value of EMF leads the current by the phase pi by 2 radian, or current lags behind the EMF by pi by 2 radian. That is, instantaneous value of the current when the inductor is to be connected is to be given as I is equal to I0 sin omega t minus pi by 2. And when the capacitor is to be connected across the circuit, so here the EMF or voltage across the capacitor lags behind the current by the phase angle pi by 2 radian, or current leads the EMF or voltage by pi by 2 radian. That means the instantaneous current when the capacitor is to be connected across the circuit, we are getting as I is equal to I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2. Hence, we can say that the current which is to be opposed by a pure inductor lags in phase, while that opposed by a pure capacitor leads in phase by pi by 2 radian over the voltage. Now, let's have the example 13.4. A capacitor of 2 microfarad is connected to an AC source of EMF E is equal to 250 sin 100 pi t. Write an equation for instantaneous current through the circuit and give reading of AC ammeter connected in the circuit. As here in this example, it is given that the capacitance of the capacitor is 2 microfarad. So here we have to write C is equal to 2 microfarad, which is to be converted into the farad by multiplying 10 raised to minus 6, and hence the value of C becomes 2 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. Then next is given the source of EMF E is equal to 250 sine 100 pi t is given. That means here the value of the EMF is to be given as E is equal to E0 sine omega t we are taking, and when we are comparing, so value of E0 we are getting as 250 volt, where omega value we are getting as 100 pi radian per second. On comparing the given equation of EMF E is equal to 250 sine 100 pi t with E is equal to E0 sine omega t, we are getting E0 as 250 volt and omega as 100 pi radian per second. Then we have to first of all write down an equation for the instantaneous current through the circuit when the capacitor is to be connected. And also we have to give the reading of an AC ammeter connected in a circuit there. So we know that the instantaneous current through the circuit when the capacitor is to be connected is given as I is equal to I0 sine omega t plus pi by 2. Let's substitute the value over here, as I0 is nothing but E0 upon 1 upon omega c, and hence we can write I0 as omega c into E0 into sine omega t plus pi by 2. Here value of omega we know it is 100 pi radian per second. Value of C is given 2 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. Value of E0 is 250 volt. And also omega we are having 100 pi radian per second. So next we have to substitute the value in this equation, and hence we are getting I is equal to omega as 100 pi, value of pi over here we are getting as 3.142. So we can write it as 100 into 3.142 there. Then into value of C we are having 2 into 10 raised to minus 6. So we have to substitute the value as 2 into 10 raised to minus 6. 10 raised to minus 6 and 100 over here of omega becomes 10 raised to minus 4. So omega into C value we are getting 3.142 into 2 into 10 raised to minus 4. Then the value of E0 we have to write 250. Then sine omega t we are supposed to write as 100 pi t plus pi by 2. Then next we have to multiply the factors 3.142 with 2 with 250, and also we have to multiply it with 10 raised to minus 4. So on multiplication these 4 factors we are getting it as 0.1571, and hence the equation we are getting for the instantaneous current through the circuit as I is equal to 0.1571 sine 100 pi t plus pi by 2. Now the next we have to give the reading of AC ammeter which is connected in a circuit, and over here we are going to use the formula, that is IRMS is equal to 0.707 I0. As from the equation we are getting the value of the I0 which come to us 0.1571. So here in this equation we have to substitute the value of I0 as 0.1571 ampere. So the IRMS value we are getting on multiplication these two factors as 0.111 ampere. That means the reading of AC ammeter which is connected in the circuit gives the value RMS current as 0.111 ampere. So here we can write our final answer as the equation for the instantaneous current through the circuit. We are getting I is equal to 0.1571 sine 100 pi t plus pi by 2, and it gives the reading of AC ammeter connected in a circuit as 0.111 ampere. So here we have studied application of AC to a capacitor, and the instantaneous value of alternating current through a capacitor we are getting as I is equal to I0 sine omega t plus pi by 2, where the applied EMF is to be given as E is equal to E0 sine omega t, and hence we can conclude that EMF or voltage across the capacitor lags behind the current by phase angle pi by 2 radian, or current leads the EMF or voltage by pi by 2 radian. And also we can conclude the current and EMF both are sinusoidal in nature of same frequency, and here the capacitor blocks DC and acts as open circuit while it passes AC of high frequencies, as the opposition offered by the capacitor to the flow of alternating current, which is called as capacitive reactance and denoted as XC, we are getting as XC is equal to 1 upon omega C is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FC, where F is the frequency of AC supply. And the function of the capacitive reactance XC in a purely capacitive circuit is to limit the amplitude of the current, similar to the resistance in a purely resistive circuit. As well as we had seen the comparison between resistance and reactance. The chapter will be continued next time in the next lecture. Thank you.